Hey, what's up, Truth Tribe? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the most powerful lesson I've ever learned in my life and how it applies to moving humanity towards a brighter future. Coming up today in part 3 of The Path to Freedom. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Okay, so we started out this series talking about an end destination. Where are we heading? Where are we going? Because right now, the only real path we have is where the controllers and rulers of this world are taking us right now. And if we don't get on a different path, we're going to end up there. And we don't want to end up there. So, second video I talked about keeping things simple. Because the only way to create a critical mass that we're going to need to create this transition to a better type of system, it's going to have to be simple. People like simplicity, and people are kind of lazy, so they don't want to have to put too much effort into thinking. I understand all this since I've been doing this for 14 years. Today what I'm talking about is a recording that somebody gave me back in 1992, so 29 years ago. And looking back on my entire life, I realized that this message that I was given is probably the most important lesson that anybody in this world can learn in their entire lifetimes. And if we get enough people to learn this lesson and apply this lesson and understand what I'm talking about in this video today, we can create that critical mass and create a better world. But without this understanding, there's a massive piece of the puzzle that's missing. So what that audio cassette was that was given to me is a recording made in 1956 by Earl Nightingale called The Strangest Secret in the World. And the first time I ever listened to it, I was really kind of blown away. You know, I had always kind of thought differently than most people, but this just illustrated things so clearly to me in my mind. And I went on to listen to this recording. I mean, it has to be at least 300 times in my lifetime that I've listened to this. Because the message is so powerful and it continues to reinforce the ideas in your mind. And also, Earl Nightingale's voice is so soothing, it's just a joy to listen to. So anyway, what we're going to do today in this video is we're going to go over some of the highlights of this audio and really kind of drive home what my idea is as far as getting to this destination that I would think that most of humanity wants to get to. Because right now we're living in a world that's utter chaos, and it's only going further and further into hell right now. And again, it's because people are focusing on the negative instead of focusing on the positive or where we want to go. So that's one of the keys to this video that I want to explain. But anyway, so we're going to start off with just the first 20 seconds, and he really gets to the point here of what the problem is, not only in individuals, but what I see is in society as a whole. So we're going to start that right here.
I'd like to tell you about the strangest secret in the world. Some years ago, the late Nobel Prize-winning Dr. Albert Schweitzer was being interviewed in London, and a reporter asked him, "Doctor, what's wrong with men today?" And the great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, "Men simply don't think."
And there you have it. And I've been saying it for a long time now. The biggest problem with the state of affairs in humanity around the world today is simply that. People simply don't think. He used men as the collective of all mankind 100 years ago. But yeah, that's really the problem. People have outsourced their thinking to external sources, to friends, family, society, and primarily the television. They allow the television to do their thinking for them, and they just adapt whatever they hear from the TV as their reality, as their own personal thoughts, when they haven't done any introspection or opining to come to certain opinions that may change their mind, because again, they're not actually going through the thinking process. They've lost almost the ability to think at all. What I say over and over again is most people have become dumb nodes on a computer network, just doing what they're programmed to do, repeating instruction sets and nothing more. And therein lies the problem. So, what's the solution? We're going to get to that in the next clip here.
Now think a moment. Out of the 100, only 5 make the grade. Now why do so many fail? What has happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What's become of the dreams, the hopes, the plans? And why is there such a large disparity between what these men intended to do and what they actually accomplished? When we say about 5% achieve success, we have to define success. And here's the best definition I've ever been able to find. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Okay, so there you have it right there. What is success? How do we get to where we want to go as humanity? We have to create a worthy ideal and progressively realize it. That's the entire core of my work, is to show people this worthy ideal, a different type of society, a different type of world, and how we get there. So as I defined in the first video of this series, what is the destination? The destination should be, and I think everybody in the world would want this, individual sovereignty, autonomy, and a world free of coercion and oppression. That's a worthy ideal. And we need to begin progressively realizing that, or we're never going to get anywhere. That is the key to this entire series, is to paint that picture and show people how we get there. Okay, so in this clip he's going to redefine success and then point out another reason for the problems in society.
If a man is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where he's going, that man is a success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else without knowing why, without knowing where they're going.
Okay, so that was written 68 years ago. And ask yourself, has anything changed? Do we now live in a world of basically conformity? Look at the face diapers. Look at everybody going along with what they're being told to do. Not much has changed. And again, the only way we're ever going to get out of this mess that we're in is we have to stop conforming. We have to start thinking and using our minds the way they're intended. Now in this next clip, my only disagreement, knowing what I know, is that not everybody can succeed because the game is rigged. The system is rigged. We need to create a system which is not rigged anymore. But other than that, yeah, conformity seems to be one of the biggest problems we face as humanity.
And yet by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known. Why? We conform. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95 who don't succeed. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only person who succeeds is the person who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. You know, for 20 years I looked for the key which would determine what would happen to a human being. Was there a key I wanted to know which would make the future a promise that we could foretell to a large extent? Was there a key that would guarantee a person's becoming successful if he only knew about it and knew how to use it? Well, there is such a key, and I've found it. And have you ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how a man who's a failure tends to continue to fail? Well, it's because of goals. Some of us have goals, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. It's that simple.
Okay, so obviously he's talking about individuals here, but this exact same idea can be applied towards everything. Can be applied towards entire societies. And that's my point, is that as a society, I don't see any goals that we are progressively realizing other than staying on the same reservation. All I see out there, if I look in social media and all the videos, the alternative video sites, are people talking about Republicans coming in to save the day, or you got the other side, the left, saying that their progressivism is going to save the day. I mean, it's complete insanity. This whole political paradigm that we live in was created to, number one, divide and conquer us, and number two, to enslave us. So that's not a worthy ideal. That's not a goal that we should be continuously perpetuating. We need a separate goal outside of this reservation we live in right now. We need something else that we need to get a critical mass working towards and progressively realizing that better ideal. Again, so that's the purpose of this whole video series here. Okay, so in this next clip, he's going to use a metaphor of a ship to basically explain how we as individuals and societies get to where we want to go, as opposed to, I guess, where we're being taken.
Think of a ship leaving a harbor, and think of it with the complete voyage mapped out and planned. The captain and crew know exactly where it's going and how long it'll take. It has a definite goal. Now, 9,999 times out of 10,000, it will get to where it started out to get. Now, let's take another ship, just like the first, only let's not put a crew on it or a captain at the helm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just start the engines and let it go. I think you'll agree with me that if it gets out of the harbor at all, it will either sink or wind up on some deserted beach, a derelict. It can't go anyplace because it has no destination and no guidance, and it's the same with a human being.
It's the same with the human being, and it's the same with entire societies. Right now, we are on a ship that is heading towards the Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a world of transhumanism, a world of complete control and no free will, 24/7 surveillance, the panopticon, a dystopian nightmare. That's the ship we're on right now. If we don't want to go there, we have to get on another ship. We have to set the course for a different destination, okay, that doesn't involve any of that stuff. And again, I believe that if you show people a better world, a better destination than what they're currently on as far as trajectory, I think that most people would say, yeah, let's do that. Let's transition over this, because after 18 months, yeah, I can kind of see where we're going now. You've got the people who are completely bought and paid for. They're off the reservation, or they're firmly stuck in the reservation rather, and don't want to leave because they are completely blind to reality. But then you have the people who are resisting this and fighting this, and they don't want to go to the destination we're being taken to. Those are the people that we need to form, we need to unite en masse and transition over to this other destination. Moving forward in this video series, I'm going to be laying out exactly how we get there. All the documentation that needs to be taken care of. I mean, everything. I've had this worked out for years in my mind. I was putting it in my book. I never finished and published my book. So now it's just coming out in videos and on my websites and everything else, my blogs, my Facebook posts. We need a better destination. We need to progressively realize that we're the ideal. Like Earl Nightingale told us back in 1956 when he recorded this. Okay, so now we're going to get to the meat of this entire video. What is the strangest secret in the world? And I guess we'll let Earl take it from here.
Now let's get back to the strangest secret in the world, the story that I wanted to tell you today. Why do men with goals succeed in life and men without them fail? Well, let me tell you something which, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. If you understand completely what I'm going to tell you from this moment on, your life will never be the same again. You will suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. The things you want just seem to fall in line, and from now on you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. Doubt, fear, well, they'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about.
And there it is. The strangest secret in the world, or what I like to say, the most powerful secret in the world. We become what we think about. Whatever dominates our thoughts is what we are going to manifest in our lives. My next video is going to get deeper into this, how I have applied this in my life and how it absolutely does work. I want to keep this one, again, I want to keep all these videos a little bit shorter so that people will watch them. So I'm going to wrap this one up right here and just say that as long as the majority of people continue thinking about the current system we're stuck in, the current political paradigm, they keep reacting to what's being done to us, being shocked at what they're doing when we know exactly what they're doing. Why would they do anything different? They've told us their plans. We know exactly what they're doing to us. As long as we are thinking about this, we're going to become this. We're going to stay right here. We're not going to move forward. We're not going to get to a better world. We become what we think about. So we need to start thinking about that better world. That better world that I described in part 1 of this series. A world of personal sovereignty, personal autonomy, power restored to the individual, and a system that does not allow anybody to impose their will or coerce you ever again. That's the worthy ideal. That's the goal that we need to work towards. And again, if we get a critical mass of people who understand this, and I think critical mass is going to be 32 to 35 million people, just over 10% of our population. I think that's doable. And I think this is an idea that once people grab hold of, it can spread very quickly. And we can change the world very quickly. This doesn't have to drag out. The longer this drags out, the more damage they're going to do. So we have to be aware of what they're doing to us, but if this is all we think about, we're never going to break free of this system. They know that. That's why they bombard us with so many different angles of attacks so that we don't know how or what to react to. They're shutting down the food supply, the supply chains. They're going to be attacking the power grid, the communication networks. They've already got control over healthcare and where you can go based on your status. I mean, we're completely being bombarded by negative energy. And we need to shift to a positive, loving energy and say, you know what? I'm done with this. We need to unite and we need to think about a better future. Because once we start thinking about that better future, and we have that goal, and we have that destination, and we're on that ship, we will get there. There's no way we can't. Okay? But as long as we're thinking about everything in the political paradigm and talking about it ad nauseum, we're not going anywhere. We're anchored in the harbor here, or we're on that ship taking us to Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. I don't think anybody wants to live in that world. This video series is about painting that picture, and again, go back to the one that I created in January. It's called Manifesting a New Reality. It's across all my video channels. The first 7 parts are done. I got burned out doing them because they took so long. I decided last week I'm going to finish parts 8 through 12 as an audiobook and put them up so that the whole thing will be out there. You just won't have the video stimulation of going along with my words. But I want to get the full vision of manifesting this new reality out there. And I also will be working on finishing this Path to Freedom series as well, which is going to be a companion piece to manifesting a new reality and actually showing people how we get there. But we have to stop. We have to stop thinking about the negative. We have to stop thinking about what they're doing to us. We have to start realizing a worthy ideal. And that worthy ideal is a better world of freedom and abundance for everyone. We can do that. We can do it in our lifetime. We can do it in the next year if we really want to. Because why does anybody want to stay in this hellhole anymore? It's like we're in an abusive relationship that we don't know how to escape from. They're going to continue abusing us. As long as we comply with their demands, they're going to continue. The only thing that will take their power away from them is us en masse saying, you have no power over us. We're transitioning to a different system. Your system no longer applies to us. You get enough people doing that, their power goes away. And that's the message that I've been trying to tell people for over a year now. And it's for some reason it's not resonating. And so I'm trying to change my message here and show people with videos, especially Earl Nightingale's. I mean, like I said, this has had an extremely positive impact on my life for the last 29 years. And the realization that I have become exactly what I thought about, going all the way back to when I was 13 years old. So I know the power of the strangest secret in the world. It works. It works for everybody who applies it. And that is the power of manifestation. And that's why I named my first video series, Manifesting a New Reality. Manifesting a New Reality is about painting a picture of that destination. This is where we want to go. This is what that future society looks like. And we need to start sharing this message. And we need to start thinking and directing our energy and our positive thoughts towards realizing that worthy ideal. So, on that, I'm going to wrap it up. Please go watch my videos, like, share, comment. We need to get this message out because I don't see anyone else out there taking us to a better destination. Everybody out there is talking about politics and what they're doing to us and all the BS. Stop it. Okay? We need to start shifting our energy towards building a better world. We can do it. We have to do it. There is no other option. All right? I mean, look at the last 18 months. It's only going to get worse. You know, so if we want a better world, we have to manifest it. The only way to manifest it is to think about it every single day, and we'll get there. I love you guys. Stay positive and keep fighting the good fight. I'll see you in part 4. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Oh shoot, real quick, I meant to say the link for the full audio of The Strangest Secret in the World will be in the description below. I highly recommend everybody who watches this video go and listen to it if you've never listened to it before. It's powerful. And I would say listen to it at least once a week so you can really understand the ideas that he proposed, and that's changed millions of lives over the last 70 years. So yeah, the link will be below. I forgot to mention that in the original video. I just wanted to pop in and say that. We'll see you in part 4. Bye-bye.